Hello, my name is Derek Pan, and I am in Carnival Day Group. So first, I want to show the playercontroller.cs. I wrote this code with Vanessa Ramirez. We did 50-50 on this piece of code. So we did it together, just like the video you showed us in class. And I wrote it on top to show that, hey, we did pair programming. So the first thing we did was that we imported all of the libraries and set up whatever namespaces we had to use for the scripts of function. And then we declared player controller dot we declared player controller, and that's a class that inherits from mono behavior, letting it to be attached and control the Unity game objects. And after that, we declared a bunch of public variables that could be set from the Unity editor. A lot of these are in relation to the Mongo client for us to be able to send into the database that the player moves. This may change in the future, but this is what we have going on right now. So we have a bunch and more public variables that can be set also from the Unity editor, and things like rigid body, move speed, and all of these are in relation to like how the player moves. And then ones like and other variables in here are for the internal script logic, and the others are what I like to consider like flags. So the first thing we have is a start, and what start does is that this is how we connect to the Mongo database, and we want to pull all the player data that's already existing on, because if we don't pull the player data that's already there, we will always be starting from ground zero and pushing new data. So every time we restart the game or restart the code, it's going to be starting from zero. We want to be able to pull from the database to say, okay, if there's something there first, yeah, pull from it. And then here we have update, and this is in regards to the updating how we move to the Mongo database for some portions. For here, input get access, that's how we're saying, okay, move left, move right. Normalize is how we make sure everything is consistent in all directions. And then we update the animation based on the movement, and here is the logic for how the flipping and for our character is on their movement. And then down here, we just have more animations for, forward, backwards. And here, if input.get, this is how we modify the player database. On application quit, this is when the game is exiting, it saves the player data back to database. Remember, this is the code that we worked on with Vanessa. And this code, this is the one that I did by myself. Similarly, the player controller, first we import everything, we initialize our objects and variables. We start, still same thing. We're going to pull from the database to see, okay, what's there? And just like in the weekly reports, first we want to be able to check prerequisites and be able to unlock. Actually, let me go over all the functions and then I'll talk about it. We want to be able to fetch unlocked areas and update player data. And here are how in the game, when we click on something, it will be able to load the mini game. First things we're going to do is check the prerequisite, because we don't want players to be able to just unlock the mini game if they haven't met the prerequisite. So first thing they got to do is check. And that's for all three mini games. And to do so, we check if their currency is above 100. This is just a placeholder value. If it is, minus 100, and go to database and set it as true. So we set this value as true, and then we update player data, which I'll go over in a bit. If they don't have the currency count, then we say, no, you don't have enough money. But this portion has not been covered yet, especially in the weekly reports. So here we update player data. And this just goes to the database and set the variables from what we want it to, because we set it as true. So now it would do the same thing. Fetch unlock areas. We just want to make sure that we'll be able to fetch it. And these are the load mini games. And on this screen, we also have more buttons as normally would, but I want to be able to escape, do whatever, load the prize booth scene, and load random scene, and load random scene. This is another portion of the use case to say, click it and go to a random scene of which you already unlocked. And here is the game. So currently, this is the placeholder for our game. And all of this thing, I just want to specify that, oops. The art, like this little red with these green triangles. I did not design these, like this background, the backdrop, this thing on the right bottom of the screen. That's not a part of it. This isn't part of the work I have to show. What I do have to show, say, okay, I place them all on this screen. I'm able to move it however I want, understand the physics of the game and how we use this editor for our advantage. So right now in the database, we have 2,900 currency. And the reason why is because I was testing it earlier. So minigame one is already true. So now the game is running. If I press on minigame one, we're going to load the game. And it's probably going to go down to 2,800 because we have not implemented the logic for that portion yet. But for example, if we go over to a game we haven't unlocked yet, minigame 2, and it was going to subtract 100 from here. There we go. And all of these, and now we also say, okay, this game is unlocked, this game is unlocked, and this game is not unlocked. It is a part of a future portion of the game to check to make sure that, oh, if this game is already unlocked. And for our second, and my second portion of code is with the main character scene walking. So this is all a part of the code. The art is his character, but the aspect of what we did on this is say, okay, move left, move right, and we can see how it dynamically moves. Even the clothing of the characters able to move. So move forward, move backward. It will be able to do whatever you want it to do. And that is my video demo. Thank you very much.